Grace and peace, Rooted Collective. Welcome back to Awakened and Rooted, where the veil is thin, the vibes are deep, and the stories will make you question everything. So if you are into the mystical, the metaphysical, or the downright unexplainable, you are in the right place. Now, I want to first apologize for not having my video up yesterday. I was tired. I was tired and I could not pull it out of me to upload a video yesterday. So you will have a Saturday edition of our Friday videos. So with that being said, let's get into it.
If you're an empath, and I only want my empaths listening to this, because if you're not an empath, you can just keep on scrolling, because this is not for you. This is for all of my empaths. If you're an empath, protection isn't optional. It's spiritual survival. And if you don't set spiritual boundaries with dark entities, they will set it for you. You ever feel heavy for no reason, like something followed your ass home? That's not paranoia. That's a spiritual hit. Empaths, listen up. Your energy is the light in the dark. And that light attracts both the healed and the haunted. So here's how to cleanse and protect yourself step by step. Step 1, just cleanse your space. Any energy not sent by light or love, you command them to leave. You're not welcome here. 2, protect your aura daily. Before you leave your house, imagine a white bubble of light. White light at that, covering you from head to toe. That's your shield. Intention activates protection, not just ritual. Step 3, salt is your friend. Put sea salt at your windows, at doorways. Salt doesn't just protect, it blocks. And you can also add Florida water or essential oils to your bath to reset your aura. Step 4, pray, or speak out loud. Demonic spirits count on silence. They thrive in fear. Declare your authority. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. My spirit is sovereign. I walk with divine protection. Step 5, cut spiritual cords. That toxic ex still lingering in your mind. That dream that keeps you showing up. And that dream that keeps showing up. Visualize scissors. Cut that energy off. Burn their name if needed. Close that door. Empaths don't need to be afraid. You just need to be awake. Save this if you've been feeling off lately. And if you're ready to change, say something in the comments. I read them all.
So I got a comment on my on my poll, that someone likes paranormal, but they also want to know how to protect themselves. So this video is going to be a combination of both. So we are starting out the right way with how to protect ourselves.
The best disguise for a demon is in a relationship. Hear me out when I say this. I'm going to say it again one more time so y'all can hear me. The best disguise for a demon is in a relationship. I say that because we would be dating these demonic ass people and not even realizing that we're dating them. The same way that they say, they use the phrase the devil in disguise, demons are in disguise as well. And the best and easiest way for a demon to hide is in a relationship. When you're in a relationship and you're not fully aware of who you're dealing with, and that mask starts to slowly fall off and you start to see the diabolistic and demonic tendencies, you may be too far in. Because it's literally things that you're not even aware of. Addiction and the devil and addiction and the devil go hand in hand. So if you're dealing with anybody that has an addiction problem, most likely they have a demonic spirit that is attached to them. That is just my belief. They have things that are attached to them. You are literally drinking alcohol, working with spirits. And so if you are dating an alcoholic or anybody that has an addiction problem, any type of form, that is how you'll know. There'll be telltale signs of these demons. Demons hide in plain sight. They don't come out. You can't really see them during, you just can't really see them. And so what I've learned is that demons will have a smell to them. These are people. They will have a very distinctive, disgusting smell. Their hygiene will be horrible. They will have horrible, horrible, horrible hygiene. They will not clean. They will not be organized. They will be sweet and nice to an extent. But when that mask falls, that mask falls. They do things to get what they want. They're greedy. They have addictive personalities to the point where they always need a fix. This is how, in my opinion, how to spot demons. They are addicted to something always. They smell horrible. Terrible, terrible eating habits. It's like they're a big ass parasite. They come across to a lot of people very sweet and very nice, but it's like it's covert narcissism, really, because they're hiding who they actually are, and they're hiding behind who they actually are very insecure, because they know deep down inside that they're not good people. They may appear like they're good people, but deep down inside they know that they're not people, because they don't want to take the time to actually heal. They're always looking for an escape. So they look to drugs, they look to anything that will help them escape from that. I was literally in a relationship for about 6 years with a fucking demon, and I didn't even realize it. Spiritually, there were times where I couldn't sleep next to this man because my body just felt uncomfortable. Like, he would come into bed and I would wake the fuck up automatically. I would have the weirdest fucking dreams, sleeping next to him. I couldn't take his smell, his sweat. It was just so. It was a lot, and I realized that he wasn't clean. His hygiene was horrible, and I would tell him, to the point where I had to tell him to go take a bath, go take a shower, go brush your teeth. Simple things that I should not have had to tell a man to do, I was doing. And I didn't realize that it just played a part in his addiction and his whole entire feeling of he was just so demonic, and he didn't even realize. And he liked to go out to bars and drink, and he would have walking beers. Like, we would be going to a place where we could go drink, like a bar, and we would walk, and he would walk with a beer. Like, it was such an addiction. It was such a nightmare that I was in, and I realized that man was literally sucking the life out of me. Like, I would look at myself and I didn't recognize who I was, and then I had to call my energy and all my power back to me, literally detach myself from his energy, from his aura, like stay away from him as much as I can. And I was able to grasp all my magic back and get all my energy back from him, because I felt like for years I was being siphoned through sex, I didn't even want to have sex with him, but I felt like I was being siphoned through sex. So it was like an energy, like we would plan out sex because I didn't want to have sex with him. It was just a weird point in our relationship, and I realized that he would have sex, I wouldn't finish, but it wouldn't matter because he got his fix, and then he'd go on to do his creative work. So I was giving him his fix, I was giving him his energy, and then he'd go off and do whatever he wanted to do. Meanwhile, mine was being depleted. When you're dealing with addicts and addictive personalities and stuff like that, you realize that these dark forces and demonic things can attach themselves to other people. And when they attach themselves to other people, they can then attach themselves to you. Luckily, I'm very spiritual. I work with herbs and everything. And so I was able to remove a lot of the energy. But I remember doing like energy work to remove energy off of me every day. I remember not realizing that I was in the house with the fucking enemy, in the house with who was putting this energy on me. I felt so stagnant, so stuck. My business wasn't moving, this wasn't moving, nothing was moving. But it's always when I get away from him that things started to move. It took me so long to get from underneath his clutches and everything for me to realize that it might have been him this whole entire time that was holding me back. And financially, it was like a hold he had on me as well. Wow, this is just a revelation that I'm realizing, like, because of it was such a long relationship, that I realized how much of it really took from me. I may do a part 2. I don't really know. I just really wanted to get this out and let you guys know that, like, demons, the most easiest way for a demon and a demonic force to disguise themselves is in a relationship, especially if it seems healthy, especially if they see you as a light pillar. I'm all about self-awareness and self-esteem, so I can only imagine the light that I had when you first met me. Yeah, this is crazy.
Her video is deep. It is deep. And it is thought-provoking for sure. For sure. And I never thought about it the way she's explaining it.
Shared paranormal experiences come with a different type of intensity because it validates the fact that you're not crazy, that you're not just hallucinating. Back when I used to work in a crystal store, Halloween would always be one of the craziest days. And like, obviously, the veil is already thin where I'm working, but now there's practically no veil all day, and I'm working in a place that attracts all types of different spiritual energy. I remember this one Halloween in particular, there was this beautiful lady who walked in. She was dressed head to toe in black, and she had a witch hat on. And I was just like, I was so enamored by her presence. So I saw her interact with my coworker upon walking in. They have like the classic customer service exchange, and then she asks me to take her to the book section so she could look up books about witchcraft. And I'm like, okay. So I walk her to the back of the store, and she stays back there and looks over the books for a little bit. At some point, I see her engaging with the owner. So this is 3 different people that work in the store that have interacted with this lady. We see her walking around, perusing all of the merchandise, and we're not thinking anything of it. 2 or 3 hours go by, and the store is like dead quiet. It's empty. All we hear is like the music playing in the background, but no like chatter from customers. So, you know, I'm doing my little check-in. I'm walking around doing a sweep of the store just to see if there's anybody still in there, and it's nobody. Everybody is gone. Mind you, where the register is, we're at the front of the store, so we see everybody who enters and exits. There's always somebody in the back too, and the back door is not open to the public, so there's no way she could have gotten out of that door without somebody knowing. But I noticed that I never saw her leave, so I go up to the front and I ask my coworker, I'm like, hey, like, did that one customer buy anything? She was in here for a really long time, but I never saw her like walk out. And then my coworker is like, well, no, I've been up here all day. Like, I thought that she was still in the store. And I'm like, no, she's literally gone. And she was like, okay, yeah, I never saw her leave. But I did see her interact with the owner. So I go to the back of the store and I asked the owner, I was like, hey, did she like leave through the back door or something? Because like, we have been on the floor this whole time and we never saw that woman exit or buy anything. The owner of the store says, no, I never saw her leave either. And the owner, she'll stay in the back because that's where her office is, but she still gets up and walks around. And that's how she interacted with the lady. So like 2 or 3 hours went by of like this lady being in the store, and then she literally just like vanished into thin air. And when I told the owner, like, hey, like, we didn't see her leave, and the owner said that she didn't see her leave, she goes up to the front, she asked the coworker, we all confirmed that we never saw this woman exit the store. And then I felt goosebumps all over my body, and I look over and the owner is really pale, and I'm like, you don't think? And she's like, yes, that was most likely a ghost. And the craziest part was, it wasn't just like, because when I would have paranormal experiences in the past, it was typically like, okay, I saw something strange, I'm just gonna brush this off because I feel like I'm the only one experiencing it. But this was a shared paranormal experience between 3 people. Mind you, the store wasn't that big. Like, it was a good size, but it wasn't huge. Like, we would have seen her exit the store. We saw her enter. She talked to 3 different people, but we never saw her leave. I'm walking the floor the whole time. You have 2 or 3 people posted in the back, and then you have somebody at the front. And we weren't allowed to be on our phones. So it's like we were watching all the time because, you know, theft was high there. You know, it just is what it is. But when you have 3 spiritually inclined, vigilant people who all interacted with this person at a different time, like, and then she just vanishes into thin air, you can't help but wonder, did we just fucking talk to a ghost? And the crazy thing is, I never really saw her like pick up anything, you know what I mean? Pick up anything, carry it to the front. She was just perusing and looking, you know what I mean? And I still kick myself about that to this day because I really wish I would have got to like interact with her and like rack her ghostly brain. I still to this day believe it's a ghost. You can think I'm crazy, but like I had 2 other people that experienced that same thing with me simultaneously. And that's why I believe this experience is valid. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I 100% believe that she and her coworkers and the owner all interacted with a ghost in that store.
I grew up in a haunted house between Buffalo and Rochester, New York, but my mom also grew up in a house that had a lot of crazy energy in Lancaster, New York, close to the Erie County Railroad. My brother ended up dating the woman who lived in the house next door. He moved in with her. Her house was next door to the house my mom and my aunt had grown up in. My friend was visiting from Michigan, and we went into my grandma's old house. My brother at the time was working in the plumbing. The house had been bought and sold a number of times since my grandma had no longer lived in it. She passed in 2012. And while my brother was working on the house, he would feel things all the time in there. This house always scared us, okay? It did not feel like a nice, happy, safe place. It was dark. It just was foreboding. There's a lot of natural brickwork in there. My grandmother had antique farming equipment. She had stuff from the railroad. The house was haunted as heck from railroad experiences. My aunt whipped out a Ouija board in that house and had a whole to-do with that story as well. However, my brother said, hey, I asked the guy who owns it. He's like, I asked if we could go check it out. I said, my sister's going to be in town. She'd love to see my grandma's old house. Can I bring her inside? We go inside. Now, my friend is also very sensitive to energy. She actually was the same friend that I talked about a couple stories back who lived in the apartment with me where we would both see stuff and we were scared to like turn the TV off and look at it at night. So we were really big kids. So we went into the house and she's not comfortable, does not like it at all. But we go throughout, as soon as you walk in, it feels like you're smacked with like this oppressive, heavy energy. And we walk into the kitchen and I'm remembering like my grandma's blue cabinets and just like what a slice of nostalgia. But I'm also looking at like all the new things in there. This house had so much character and all of it was gone. Like a couple of the original wooden doors were still in the house, which is awesome because they were beautiful. And even some of the like the doorknobs and everything, really beautiful stuff. So I go through the living room. The brickwork has been like drywalled over or whatever. You can't see it anymore. And we get to the basement. And now at this point, my friend said, I'm not going down there. All we did was touch the knob and she's like, I'm not going down there. I'm like, I'm not going down there either. Now I'm already very aware that I'm an intuitive person. I've seen haunting. I've seen things before. I've felt things. I'm aware I've had enough experiences, especially in this house. We opened the door to the basement. I look down there. I'm like, no, even saying it now, I get the chills. So my friend leaves. She's like, I can't do this. She goes. Now it's just my brother and I in the house. And we go upstairs to where my mom used to hear the drums at night. And I couldn't remember which room it was, but we're walking through this house and I go into the bathroom and it's just like my brother's with me, but it feels like there's someone right on top of me. Then there's this small room that's like almost like a crawl space. It's like a closet. I guess you could use it as a bedroom, but I don't think really. So we walk in there a little bit and I'm remembering my grandma's guitar was in there, all like the Christmas decorations, that kind of thing. Walking through there and then there's a bedroom. We turn around, we go into the next bedroom on the left and it's just instant like all the air is sucked out of that space. You just feel heavy, tired, lethargic. You can't breathe. Your brain is foggy. And I'm like, Jake, I want to go. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't feel right. And I feel like I'm being pushed into the next room that's at the front of the house. And that was just so uncomfortable. You get in there and I'm like, nope, don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. And at one point it got so heavy and hard to breathe in there that I turned around and I walked back out of the house. I was like, Jake, I gotta go. We walked back downstairs, which the stairs, another story about those. Walked down the stairs, went out the door, got back to his girlfriend's house. And my friend was like, she's like, dude, I threw up. Like I felt so sick from being in that house that I got sick to my stomach. She said, And she saw auras. She saw colors of buildings, people, things, places, whatever. She said that house has like it doesn't have an aura. Like it shouldn't even exist. It feels like it shouldn't be there. I have chills saying this right now. It's like it shouldn't even be there. I don't like it. I don't want to go back in there. And that is exactly how I felt. Every time we'd sleep over there, no, we didn't want to. No, never at all. Nope. It was absolutely terrifying. And there's a lot of history and plus the whole Ouija board thing. But I would love to know if you guys have ever been into a space where you felt like you just couldn't breathe because of the energy there, not so much because of any specific person or experience that you personally had there. Let me know in the comments.
I have not been to a place where I felt like I couldn't breathe. I have certain houses that to me on the outside look like they might be haunted, and we drive by one every day on the way to work, and I'm like, I so want to go into a haunted house. Let me know if you think I'm crazy, but I really want to go into one.
Holy. Oh shit, Bootsy! Bootsy! Mommy's coming! Mommy loves you! I'm sorry, Bootsy! I'm sorry!
It's been a month, Bootsy. Time to go ghost hunting.
Okay, and here we go. Boop. We're back. Hello. Just come to visit.
We have not been in here for a month. Let's see what we can find. First of all, present. Even in the afterlife, we need to stay moisturized. Okay, we've got the candle. Phone for the ghost tube. We got lights. We'll wait another month to do this again. Don't worry. Okay, candle. Okay, so here we go. Lights and action. Is there anybody in here? Sure. So someone's here? Would you like to talk? Got any good gossip? Are you mad at me because I ghosted you the last month? I brought you a present. Moisturize the mask. It'll take centuries off your face. I'm probably gonna pay for that one.
Power.
What kind of power? Electrical or physical?
Betty.
Betty. Do you mean Rebecca? I don't know, Betty. I hate those clicks. What is that? What are those sounds?
Okay.
What is okay?
Maybe.
It's very sporadic.
Not likely.
Last time, you said you're an elemental.
What the?
Damn it, that's the end of it. Almost lady on TikTok. I have got to find the rest of this sort of investigation ghost tube thing she's doing. First of all, Bootsy said, leave me out of this. I just want to rest. And she just keeps bothering poor Bootsy. But yeah, I want to find out what else is going on in this house.
Right after a 9/9 portal, a full moon, a blood moon, right? 999. Back to back spiritual power, spiritual events that just open up all kind of energy. And you sitting there thinking it's a coincidence? You think it's a coincidence that they murdered that white boy in cold blood? You think it's a coincidence that they found this young man hanging from a tree and they saying it's no foul play right here in Mississippi? No? Well, let me tell you something. We waking up. We're waking up to and remembering who we really are. We're getting spiritual downloads left and right, and everything is aligning. We're reclaiming our health, reclaiming our ancestors and our birthright. And all of a sudden, like clockwork, they drop tragedy after tragedy after tragedy in the middle of all of that momentum. They do that to stir confusion, all right? To breed fear, to drain our light and all of that information that we downloaded in that power. But I'm here to remind you, hey, protect your energy, guard your peace, and cleanse your spirit. Stay prayed up, meditate, stay aligned. Because see, the goal ain't just to hurt one of us, it's to shake all of us. But you know what? We're not gonna let it, because we feel and we mourn, but you know what? We don't fold. We're gonna continue to rise. Peace.
Peace for sure.
Okay, spiritual talk. Chime in, tap in on this one. Wait, I'm sorry. Before I get started, understand that my energy is protected and fully aligned with the Creator. So don't get too far ahead of yourself, okay? All right. Now, last week my son is sitting outside in the living room, and I looked down at my watch and I'm like, damn, it's almost 6 o'clock. Like, where's your sister? Because of the shortage of school bus drivers, you know, the buses have had to add on stops so that everyone can get the kids, you know, back and forth to their house, you know, to their homes or whatever. So it take them longer now to get home. Anywho, so he was like, I just saw her, Mom. Like, she just went into the room. What? He was like, yeah, I just saw her. She's in there. Like, she just went into her room. And I said, son, did you hear the keys in the door or the door open and close? And he was like, no. Actually, no, I didn't. So immediately, my spidey senses start tingling and mama bear mode has been fully activated. Because what the fuck is going on? So I was like, I mean, did she say anything to you? And he was like, no, I thought that was kind of weird. Like, she just came in and just went into the room. She didn't say hi or nothing. And I said, oh, okay. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to go in there and see. He was like, okay. He didn't think anything of it. I go in the room, turn on all the lights, look under, look under the bed, look in the bathroom that they have in their room, look in the closet. My daughter's not in there. I saw the fear slowly, wash over my son's face. And I said, don't you worry. You are protected. So I said, don't worry. It's just that her spirit beat her home. He was like, oh, okay. As soon as he said, oh, okay, the keys were jingling in the door and my daughter was coming into the house. She comes into the house as she always does. Hey, Mom, I'm home. She calls out to, speaks to everybody. And my son is just sitting there like looking at her like, I just saw you. Now, my straight off the boat Jamaican grandparents, of course, you firmly believe in spirits. Like, that your body contains your spirit. So if your body contains your spirit, it's the same for everyone else, right? There was one time back in college where I was so anxious to get home and my grandfather was there at the house and I was so anxious to get home. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to get home. So I walk in the door and say, hey, Grandpa, I'm home. He was like, hey, come here. Him and one of his friends was sitting inside the living room. He said, about an hour ago, I heard you come into the house and do just what you just did just now. Call out and say, hey, Grandpa, I'm home. And his friend was sitting there like, yeah, we heard you. He said, don't worry about it. Your spirit beat you home. All right. Tell me what you think. Leave a comment, share some laughs or some experiences. And y'all have a good day.
I would be so afraid that spirit beating her home meant something happened to her in real life. I wouldn't be able to just say, oh, okay, her spirit beat her home. I'm glad for the positive outcome. And it's interesting to hear that same thing happened to her when she was a little girl. But that would terrify me.
So when a dark spiritualist, a dark practitioner, evil practitioner, a dark witch, warlock, mambo, ugan, when they can't fulfill that contract to that dark spirit. So keep in mind, these dark practitioners, they do not have the protection of the law, of any protective spirit, good spirit. They are also not in connection to their habitación, their reglement. Therefore, every single thing that they did that was dark, that was evil, is going to turn on them. They will literally turn crazy. And I mean seeing some dark, dark mess. They will literally be haunted by this said spirit. Not only that, those very same people who you have contracted and sacrificed, be prepared for them to turn on you too. Be ready for a lot of dead people on you. I have seen dark practitioners become sick, and I mean terminally ill sickness. A sickness that is going to kill them painfully and slowly, to the point where they will suffer. I like to call this Hell's Gate. Like literally the spirits, your spirits, even God, will literally turn his back on you. And the gates of hell will be unleashed on your ass. It's judgment. Around this time, this is when these practitioners will start spazzing out. They will start making videos after videos. They will try to hit these low blows, try to do whatever they can to drain some type of energy, get some type of power from someone who's very, very powerful to fulfill this contract at the last minute to this dark spirit. So when they can't control you, they will do whatever they can to spaz the hell out to try to control you, because they know it's judgment. Like when you do dark shit, be prepared for the consequences. That's why I say you can spaz out all you want, make video after video. Do whatever you can. You ain't getting this hot, sweet ass. You ain't getting this power, baby. Through my bones, through my bloodline, my habitación. So go ahead and spaz the hell out. They still coming for your ass. And it's nobody's fault but yours. So eventually, they will end up dead. Or they will end up suffering some type of way. You'll be in the streets, a crackhead, or scratching your poom poom, end up with AIDS. Like, you will be essentially cursed. This is why it is not good to go dark. Nothing good happens when you go dark. Everything that glitters isn't gold, and it comes with a price.
That's what I was getting ready to say too. That's why you should never be practicing dark magic or into the dark arts, because it would never end well.
These are 3 more ways where you may be accidentally inviting negative spirits into your home without even realizing it. Number 1, starting off super strong, is excessive fighting in your home. There are spirits out there that literally feed off of it. They love the strong feelings behind fighting and like yelling and like hatred and just anger. Like they love it. You having constant unresolved issues in your home is like a neon sign for them. They're gonna want to stick around. Number 2 is laughing at or mocking any sort of spirits, any sort of entities, any sort of D words. You sitting there making fun of them or like just talking down on them, they take as a challenge and they're gonna want to come after you to kind of prove their point. And number 3, watching horror movies excessively, especially in your home. Anytime you turn on one of those movies, like the ones that have to do with like the D word, like The Conjuring, Insidious, and so on, you're opening that door into your home. Anytime I've ever gone to see those movies has always been at the movie theater, because whatever comes through can stay over there and not be in my home. And anytime I've tried to watch any of those movies in my home, I've always had something crazy happen. So if you're gonna watch the scary stuff, try to watch it somewhere else. Definitely don't bring that energy into your home. Let me know if you guys want a part 7. I think we're at part 7 now.
So it's kind of too late for that, because I have watched many scary paranormal horror movies in my home. I must be very much protected because there's nothing in my home. I agree about the negativity that those spirits like, so it would attract them to your home. But I may be in trouble. I may be in trouble because I love a good horror movie. I just consider myself protected. Let's just say it that way.
Can I help you? Y'all ain't just about to be running through my hallway in and out like it's some damn portal, like it's a train station or something. What y'all want? Keep running through here, I'm gonna have to charge y'all rent. That's for damn sure.
And on that note, keep eating your Doritos.
Protect your energy. Listen to me, y'all. Protect your energy. It's something called a provoking spirit. If you don't know what that is, look it up. You could be doing so good, your day going by so good, and then somebody would just come along and just do the most random off the wall thing. Like, why you even did that? You know what I'm saying? Just to get you out of that good energy, that good spirit that you got. Y'all, protect y'all energy. That shit is real.
And it's like, why are you even here? Like, who called for you?
All right, y'all, it's your favorite cousin Jay. Come sit down because I'm about to tell you some more spiritual things that some people just don't know about. Everybody cannot pray for you. Every single time y'all be like, oh, pray for me. I be wanting so bad to tell y'all, please don't be having everybody pray for you because everybody ain't happy for you and some people actually praying for you to fail. Sorry. When you come in your house, you stay in your house. You stay in for that night. You stay in for that day. But going back and forth out of the house, never a good thing. When something good happens in your life, stop telling everybody because the people that you think is happy for you, they're not happy for you. And bad spirits can ruin a lot of good things. The tongue has a lot of power. So people who are around here and they wishing bad on people, I've heard people say, I hope that person die. I hope this happened to that person. Baby, it ain't far behind you. That's all I can say. That mirror does not need to face your bed. That mirror does not need to face your bed. Staying out until 4 o'clock in the morning and then you wondering why so many bad things are happening. First of all, guess what hours those are? Witching hours. You wonder why so many bad things happen at such times like 2 a.m., 4 a.m. You ain't supposed to be out there unless you're going to work. You sleeping with somebody or you befriended somebody, you hanging around somebody like crazy, and you get to acting like them, spirits latch on to whoever. So guess what? If they depressed, guess who about to be next? The gift of discernment. If your mind is saying, that's not your friend, that person is not right, that person doesn't need to be around you, you need to listen. Because one thing about your discernment, it ain't going to steer you wrong, baby. Stop sleeping with everybody. Okay? I don't even want to have to go into detail about this. This is just something y'all should already know. Stop sleeping with everybody. Everybody got different spirits, and all spirits ain't good spirits.
Gems. 100% total fact. Everything she said.
You know, you got to be real careful who you hang around because bad energy, evil spirits, and demonic forces, they transfer and you don't even have to touch people. A lot of people going through a lot of physical problems, mental problems, emotional problems, and it's simply based upon the people that you allow yourself to be around. Now, unfortunately, you can't stop yourself from being around certain people at work, certain people at school, you know, but for most of us, we can pick up on almost immediately when we don't like somebody. Take advantage of that feeling. It's discernment, you know, because sometimes, I don't know if y'all have ever done that. You might talk to somebody for a few minutes and immediately you pick up, I don't like this person. There's something wrong with this person. They got a bad spirit. They got a bad attitude. And those kind of people you don't want to be around because those kind of spirits transfer. You don't even want these people to touch you, let alone, you know, be intimate with you. You know, a spirit don't have to touch you to actually transfer into you. All it has to do is be in a certain area, and certain people carry such bad spirits. You know, I remember one time years ago, and I told this story before, I was living in Ohio and I was riding with a pastor friend of mine and I was really going through, right? And I asked, you know, God, I said, you know, why am I going through like this? And he said, you've been infected, right? So I'm like infected, and he put on my heart to start checking who I was around because people can infect you with their bad. A lot of times people say if you're around somebody, one of y'all going to change. Either you're going to be like that person or that person's going to be like you. And that's true. These old sayings that we hear a lot of times, a lot of these things are true. And that just simply means that if you're around somebody, one of y'all spirit is going to take on the likeness of the other person. That's just the way it is. So be real careful, man, who you hang around because they can even make you sick mentally, make you sick physically. And you're wondering why you're around this. You're wondering why you're going through all of this. And it's simply based upon who you allow yourself to be around. It's some people in your life that you need to just counsel today, whether it's a relationship, a marital relationship, and it's not because I'm saying leave your marriage, but if you're around somebody that's evil, you definitely want to leave up out of that thing. I don't care if you're married or not, because some people have actually married evil people and they didn't realize it until after they married this person. If you're married to an evil person, a diabolical person, I wouldn't stay married to that person. That's a mistake you made, and you just have to go on with your life. But just be very careful who you're around, especially who you allow around your kids, because these demonic spirits will transfer and they will hang with you for a long time and you won't even realize what's wrong with you. Some people have gained and earned mental problems out of nowhere and they don't know why they're going through certain things. I was like that, and it was simply based upon the demonic people that I allowed to be in my life.
There's nothing to be said except that I agree with everything that he said. So true, because I have experienced it.
Primas and my primos, I am going to save you from blocking your blessings today. That's right. I am going to save you from blocking those blessings today. Why? Because oversharing information is blocking your blessings. Oversharing is spiritual self-sabotage. Every time you run to the internet, to your group chat, or even to family with your next big move, you're poking holes in your own blessings. You're letting the chimosas win. You're letting people put their 2 cents in on what they think that they should be doing with your blessing. You understand me? So think about it. When a seed is planted, does it scream to the world, hey y'all, I'm about to be a tree? No, it does not. It stays in the dirt, in silence, in darkness, while the roots do the sacred work. And that's exactly what you need to do with your goals, your spiritual work, and your manifestations. I hate to say, my mom, she's always right. First thing she does when I tell her, oh my God, I'm getting a new location, I'm getting new this, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. She'd be like, don't tell your trifling ass friends. And I'd be like, ma, pero. And you know, sometimes you say, yo, I want to do good, but I also want to bring that person that's been riding with me there. Sometimes you can have a jealous friend, a jealous husband, right? Because niggas have a lot of female energy. Not all, some. Some guys envy you, prima, because you're the breadwinner. Some bitches envy you because you always get it done. They can't understand how you got your ashe, why always some good looking dudes or some people with money always want to talk to you, always want to invite you out. But let's be honest. Some people don't clap for you unless you're losing. Some people will smile in your face, but the spirit is hoping you fail. Others will rush to copy you before you even finish building what God gave you. And then there are those who don't mean no harm, but their doubts and their be realistic comments and their fears, they plant weeds in your soil. So that's why privacy is protection. My mom always told me, anytime you get into a relationship, if that man treats you good, if that man cooks, cleans for you, does everything he needs to do for you, he dick you down really good, don't tell your friends. Don't tell your friends. Tell your friends. My mom was always like, tell your friend he's the wackest ever to exist. Why? Because some friends secretly want your life. They think that that man or that information or that thing should be theirs, but they didn't work hard for it. Did they? No, not at all. You did all the work. So would you leave your newborn baby outside on the porch for anybody to touch, for anybody to breathe on, for anybody to criticize? Absolutely not. You'd protect that baby with your life. Your vision, your business idea, your spiritual assignment, it's the same way. You got to guard it, nurture it in silence. I'm not going to tell hating assholes that I'm in the Botanica getting cleansed. Why? Because they think, oh, I'm doing witchcraft to Laura and she don't even know. But little do they know that I'm at the Botanica getting myself together. And let's not get it twisted. Silence is not a sign of weakness. It's wisdom's. Your enemies can't block what they don't know about. So when you see me post random shit, God said to confuse thy enemy. The evil eye can't aim what's hidden. And when people who love you can't accidentally water your seeds with doubt, if they don't know what you're planning, you got to let God, your ancestors, and your spirits be the only audience while it grows. And when the time is right, trust me, primas, the fruit will announce itself. People won't need you to explain what you've been working on because evidence will be undeniable. So from today moving forwards, protect your peace, protect your projects, protect your prayers. Learn to be in the quiet season. Until you don't have that blessing in your hand, you should not be telling anybody about it. If you got a good man or a good woman, you should not be telling your friends about it because 9 times out of 10, them motherfuckers want to be you. So, move in silence. Let your blessings make the announcement, prima. Ashe. Y Con gracia a la misericordia. Que pase, Señor, déjela pasar. Bye, prima.
And that is why they say, do not tell anybody what you are planning, just let them see your results. I 100% believe that. Remember the energy vampire video?
Never think it's just a coincidence when a quiet place suddenly gets crowded right after you walk in. I'm sure you've witnessed it. You step into an empty cafe or a silent store, and the atmosphere is still. But then, something shifts. Another person walks in, and then another, and soon a wave of customers begins to pour through the door as if summoned by an invisible bell. What was once a quiet space is now buzzing with energy and activity. This isn't just random luck. For certain people, this happens constantly, a strange but powerful phenomenon. Some cultures call it having a good back, a sign that you carry prosperity with you. In spiritual circles, these people are known as energy magnets. They possess a high vibrational frequency that naturally attracts abundance and opportunity, often without even realizing it. Their presence acts like an energetic lighthouse, signaling to others on a subconscious level that this is a place of value, a place to be. It's a spiritual gift, an innate ability to shift the energy of a room and draw in the flow of life. So, ask yourself, are you one of the people who brings the crowd? Do you notice that wherever you go, life seems to follow?
You know how you get that warning where it's like, go ahead and say what you want to say, just don't touch me. Because we all know the moment that we get touched, here come the smoke, right? Channel message right now, let's get it. I gotta look at my notes, hold on. The thing is, they was warned. They were told that if they touch you, things were gonna commence. Mind you, I just got out the hospital, so I'm thinking that, I was wondering where the hell my blood went. Come on. These folks received clear message, even by the people that they were gossiping to, not to bother you, not to fuck with you, but hold on. Somebody even went so far as to going to a spiritual practitioner. They got a reading or something, I don't know. They probably tried to do a root. They did something so extreme to get to you. For some reason, this is what we mean by the weapons were formed. But those that were working the magic looked at them and said, hey, I don't think you should be bothering this one. I'm not doing it. Like they said they weren't gonna do it. So by the looks of it, that person convinced themselves or that group to do it themselves. They began the gossip, the deceit, the wishful thinking, the ill intentions. That's witchcraft. Everybody think that you gotta light a candle, burn something, or do something. Baby, your mouth is a weapon. Why would you use it on another person? Your thoughts can be a weapon. All of that negative intent, the nice, nasty bullshit that you was thinking, you literally hoped and wished that something would happen to. You know what? I gotta go into this story. Who heard of Daniel in the Lion's Den? He was literally picked on, but not by random people, but by high officials, governors, because of his faith. Not because he did anything to anybody, but because of how much he loved his God, how much he loved the principles, his divine connection, the integrity to his God and his rituals. So they tricked the king into setting up a new law that nobody could pray to any God for at least 30 days, knowing that Daniel wasn't gonna fold. You see, Daniel was loved by King Darius. I'm about to wrap this up because this thing is getting good to me. Daniel was loved by King Darius. He was literally one of his friends. And they didn't like that because that mean that they had no pull because of how close this Hebrew, who ain't even a part of their whole country, like he's literally a foreigner. And he's loved, completely loved by the king. They allowed their jealousy to convince the king to do something so he could kill his own friend. Long story short, Daniel didn't stop praying, and they brought that to King Darius' attention. And he was like, dang, like, I didn't even consider Daniel when I had made that new law. Like, golly. But rules is rules according to them, so they like, nah, you gotta do something. Long story short, Daniel ended up in the lion's den as a punishment. Oh, but when they came to check up on him after a few days, creatures that was meant to take him out were companions. They were like little pets. He was in there alive and well. Bro was in there to myself, here, kitty, 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 to these huge ass lions. And that's how we've been surviving. See, the very thing that is meant to take us out we've turned into our own personal lessons, our own personal upkeepers, our own personal protection. What happens when you're meant to die in a situation and you come out alive and well? Somebody gotta reap what they sow. So your spirit team just put on their black Air Forces. They said, I told you not to play with me. I told you not to mess with me. And they coming to bats for them and theirs. In vision, I was shown a spirit team meeting with another spirit team about a contract. A contract that was made before this incarnation. And those people violated the contract. And it's seeming like somebody's about to be turned every which way but loose. And all I can do, I tried, honestly. I tried so hard overnight to literally pray for grace. I'm just not built that way. Some people celebrate over that shit. I personally, I'm empathetic. I can't look at it. I've always been the type of person to whoop your ass and then help you off the ground. Like, I'm that type of person. Like, it hurt my feelings to hurt you type deal. The spirit team ain't having it. They said, I told you not to touch the anointed. So now you gotta see me. And their spirit teams are literally saying, you right. Go ahead and do what you got to do. Make it out of the way. You know them people salty that you made it. I got to tell you that part. They are salty. Shall prosper. No, it won't work. Had to let that one out. Woo. Praying for grace, even though I know it's going to be denied. I'm going to pray anyway. Blessings.
If you remember her, she was the one who had the hemoglobin of 2 and survived it. So I'm listening to whatever she says.
People are scared of us.
Okay, I get back to that question. The spirits, do you know Jesus? Yes or no?
Security.
Okay, why you don't know Jesus? Okay, so I asked if they know Jesus. They said no. But be mindful. It's a lot of spirits out here, okay? So some spirits could say that. The other spirits may know him. They gotta know him. Why are people afraid of y'all? I'm asking the question like why they're afraid of, why do you think they're afraid of you?
Introvert.
Do you like to scare them? Do you like to do bad things to them? Is that why they're scared of you? I just heard something over here.
What is going on, Juice Land Paranormal?
You see me right here, you already know this is about to be a spiritual story. Yes, it's a new bonnet and it's long. But here's the story, right? So literally a few days ago, I just went to Tennessee with my girlfriend for Valentine's Day. Now, every year we do like a camping, glamping trip situation, and we usually go to like a really small town somewhere so we can be isolated in the woods or wherever, right? And we decided on Valentine's Day to drive into Nashville and, go have some drinks, go have some food and stuff like that. And the whole drive into Nashville, we were riding through the land and everything. We were having a very open-minded, very spiritual conversation because I was having a moment where I was doubting myself. Even though I have a lot of validation, I have a lot of moments. I had a lot of conversations with psychics, mediums, healers that have told me that I am either a psychic, a medium, a healer, or whatever. I still have these moments where it's like it's real hard to figure out, whether or not it's true because you look for outside validation or you just go off of your own knowing, And I do have a lot of outside validation, but it's still hard because it's not so tangible, Anyways, so we're having this conversation and we're driving into the city, right? We get into the city, we're having drinks, we're having a good time, and we got to a bar. And I told her that I kept hearing these words in my mind, right? So I was going to tell her what I was hearing. Side note, her grandmother passed away about a year before she met me, and I met her grandmother after she passed away, and that was validated through my girlfriend too. But while we were out, like I kept hearing this talking in Spanish in my mind, and it wasn't translating. And usually I would like hear something in a different language if it is a different language, and it'll translate in my mind, you know. But it wasn't translating. So I was telling her literally the sounds that I was hearing. And I cannot even, like, I don't even know if I can replicate it because to me, it sounded like gibberish. It was just me like, a pk na lo tama. Like, I was just trying to tell her the sounds that I was hearing in my mind, right? After like 3 hours of non-stop messages coming through me in Spanish, this is what my girlfriend said that I was saying, basically. She said that I was talking like her grandmother and that her grandmother doesn't like to talk to people in English out of spite, even though she does know how to speak English. So it makes sense that she was trying to speak in Spanish because she was trying to speak directly to her through me. And what she was telling her was that there was somebody in the building or the room that we were in that had boots on that we had to keep an eye on. They were on something sneaky, it wasn't safe, and we should leave soon. That was basically everything that I was saying in Spanish, and that she was worried about her, and that and she said through me in Spanish, basically, if you want me to help you, you asking in the wrong ways, or something to that effect, like you're not doing what I'm telling you to do, so like stop asking me. It was like one of those type of things. And then we got to the point where I'm like, okay, like I just want to dance a little bit. I just want to dance a little bit, get my mind off of it. We get on the dance floor. I'm trying to bob back and forth, and I started catching impressions on the entire crowd. And the way that it popped up was like this. You know, we're on the dance floor and everything, and I feel a pull in a certain direction, and I just look in that direction. And as soon as I look in that direction, I see a lady, and I see another girl next to her, about 14 years old with blonde hair. She lost a little sister. And then I see another person who had a miscarriage in there. I see another person who had their ancestor around them, protecting them. And it was just like, I was just picking up on a whole bunch of different stuff. And then I kept hearing all these words in Spanish. So she was just basically like, it seems like my grandmother's getting more antsy. Maybe we should go. Maybe we should just go. So we're walking towards the front door of the bar, and this girl who didn't bump into me, she turned around and grabbed my hand, and she was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, you're good. And then my girlfriend pulls me to the side, and she's like, that's weird because she didn't even bump into you. Like, why does she have to touch you? You know, my girlfriend reminded me, she was like, you told me that you got to be careful with witches because witches will try to touch you and try to pull your energy off of you or put something on you while you outside. Like, and I was like, oh, you clocked it. And she was like, I just think it's weird. I don't know. It's making me uncomfortable because she did the same thing to me earlier and didn't even bump into me. I was like, oh, okay. Way out of the club, she started like tugging on the belly of my shirt, right? Because this is something that I do to try to like pull the energy out of my stomach, just to have a visual and a physical representation to go along with that, you know? And she started pulling on my stomach, and she's like, I don't know, something don't feel right. I don't know, we gotta go, we gotta get this off of you, right? I was like, yeah, she's a witch. And mind you, the next day I woke up, didn't remember none of that.
I remember this story though. It was in a previous video. I believe I had it in a previous video.
Now let's talk about spiritual protection from a metaphysical perspective. Make sure you like, comment, and repost this information so we can get it out to as many people as possible. Give thanks. Now, spiritual protection. Keep in mind, y'all, that all your spiritual protection is going to start here. You learning to protect your mind from certain people, certain vibrations, certain images, etc. As the vibration of the planet rises, as the consciousness of the people start to rise, we will have to protect ourselves spiritually more than ever. So every day you want to take the time to practice visualizing yourself in white light, a shield of white light that is protecting you from certain negative forces and entities. Also, you want to understand the power of prayer and using prayer affirmation is a way to keep your frequency high. Also, take the time every single day to practice meditation. Also, take the time every single day, as much as possible, to be out in nature, to ground yourself, and to connect with the trees, with the mountains, with the river. Anything that was created by the creator that has a high frequency, we want to make sure that we are taking the time to be in the space of that particular energy. Because when we are practicing being in these particular environments, we are shielding ourselves from negative energy. And most importantly, make sure that you're doing your shadow work, because a lot of the negative energy that we are exposing ourselves to is actually coming from our own self. It's coming from our own mind. It's coming from our trauma, our depression, wrong perspective, and our ego. So remember, the only way out is in. Peace.
So this video is for those of you who are spiritually attacked. So whether it's when you're trying to sleep or in your home or your work life or whatever part of your life that you have noticed that you are being spiritually attacked by demonic spirits, energies, or entities. So you're going to repeat these words. I, whatever your name is, do not give you permission to be here in this space. I am divinely protected. You do not have the rights. I send you love and light. You must leave at once. I do not fear you because I know who and what I am. I am divinely protected. I am a sovereign being and a sovereign entity. I do not give you permission to take any of my energy, and so it shall be.
Take that and save it, and I guess memorize it and say it.
And this is why I talk about protecting yourself spiritually for the just in case on the fundamental level, while we do things for insurance purposes, just like having that life insurance, just like having that health insurance, that car insurance. You have it just in case. Same thing applies spiritually. Now, I have a multitude of different things that I have for spiritual protection in my bedroom because I have mediumship abilities that I do not talk about and do not discuss. I won't discuss, so don't ask me. Out of all the years, this one particular thing that I've placed on my bed or by my bed, I've never ever seen this. And I've been doing this for years. Let me show you. Now, I've already removed this from by my bed, but look at the color. The substance in there is in there on purpose. Look at the color. This is clearly yellow. This is clearly yellow. And I've always used the same substance in there to put in there for protection. That's yellow. I've never, ever seen this. I had to move this away from my pillowcase because I thought the pillowcase was reflecting into the water. Look at this. Man, you never, ever let down your guard spiritually. This is why I rant and rave on my platform about.
I wish you would tell us whatever that substance was that was in the water so we would know, like, why it should be a certain color and not yellow.
Protect your spirit at all costs, because there are a lot of people who follow you on social media that do not like you. I mean, they envy your lifestyle and go after what you have. They frown at your pictures and they're mad at the way others interact with you. It's because they desire the anointing that God gave you. They follow you to gain insight into your life just so that they can sit around and talk about you. However, you continue to be happy. You continue to flourish and you continue to glow because God is preparing multiple tables of honor for you in their presence.
Did y'all know that we have spirits that live within ourselves? Even in your religion, they will tell you that the body is the temple and Christ live within you. So once your ancestors transition and go to the afterlife, they live within you. Their light and energy will go into your vessel. And this little cell will be called the spirit molecule. This new element is shaking up the science community. This little cell is said to be conscious and able to think on its own. The gods and goddesses of planet Earth would have these angels that is dormant and sleep inside of your DNA. The word genetics come from the word genie. You have genes within the body, and they have been imprisoned and sealed down inside of your vessel. Now these will be your 7 chakras, or your 7 seals. These will be your 7 spiritual prisons. Once you activate and break each seal, you are freeing the spirits that is trapped within your vessel. And once you figure out the science on how to activate these seals, you will rise up and be protected by the unseen. Earth is not your original home. You have been put under a test. The kingdom is within you, family. You have to break these seals in order to power up your spiritual army. When you complete this task, the genie will come out the bottle and it will grant your every wish. They also showed you this on the movie Supercell. When we begin to rise in frequency, the planet will rise as well. Our junk DNA is being restored. Our cells have been reversed. We are beginning to look even younger now. And that is because our cells is regenerating. The spirits are waking up within you because you are becoming more conscious. And these spirits within you will purge and clean out anything that is foreign and don't belong within the kingdom. I hope y'all like the lecture, family. Love and wholeness.
When I was 14 years old, my dad left the military and his alcoholism started really picking up. And we moved into this old house in South Carolina. And this thing was probably built like late 60s, early 70s, you know. Kind of explain like all that because it was like a really dark time in my life. So one weekend I had 2 of my buddies over staying the night, and we were up to about 3 in the morning playing video games. I'm sitting right next to one of my buddies, and I'm at the desk with him, and I got my head resting in my hand like this, falling asleep. My eyes are closed, and I had long skater hair back then, and as I'm about to fall asleep, I feel a finger run across my forehead and push my hair out my eyes. And I'm thinking it's one of my friends messing with me. I didn't even open my eyes, I just said, "Kyle, stop." Then I hear him from across the other side of the room say, "It's not me." He didn't even know what was going on. He's just like, "It ain't me," whatever it is. Then I open my eyes like, oh, he really ain't messing with me. What's in my hair? So I think of the bugs in my hair. Get out, I start shaking it. Stand up and start shaking it. And then both of their eyes are on me at this point, wondering what's going on with me. And then after I stood up, and I then feel like a finger run up the back of my head, like from my neck, base of my neck, up to the top of my head. And my friends saw my hair pick up from like into the air and like fall back down and drop. That freaked them out. I'm feeling everything happening, right? After that happened, with the finger running up the back of my head, I see a ball of white light, an orb, zoom around from behind me, straight through the floor. And, you know, I don't know if they saw that part, but after that, all 3 of us were already running at that point, barricaded ourselves in my room. Still in contact with them too. Like a couple years ago, one of them hit me up and he was talking to me about it. He still remembers it. I definitely do too. It was the first time I ever felt one like actually touch me, you know? It was weird. All right, thanks.
I had this out-of-body experience once when I was a kid. I used to get sleep paralysis all the time. I sat up out of my body and I looked around and there was this lady standing or floating at the end of my bed. She was like bluish and she was like light was coming out of her. And she seemed like a mix between one of my sisters and one of my grandmothers. I don't really know how to explain it. It's just what she felt that way. I asked her who she was. She didn't say anything. She just stayed there for a second and then floated out of the window. And then I laid down and told myself I was not dreaming, which was kind of weird. Cut to 20-something years later, I'm reading about what my people, ancient Finnish people, believed before Christianity. And one of the things they did when somebody died is they left a window open in the house that they lived in because they thought the soul of that person would leave out of the window. I had no notion of that when I was a kid. I was in Sunday school. We learned nothing but the Bible. Now I'm flummoxed. I don't know what to do with that because she felt like a relative. You should read about what your people believed.
Definitely. All right, Rooted Collective, we have come to the end of this video. Please let me know in the comments if any of this resonated with you. Also, share this video with someone else who may be on their spiritual journey. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you will not miss the next video. Until next time, stay awakened and stay rooted. Peace.